Hello there and welcome to this special nail video. You know I don't do a lot of videos on nails, but I like to do them when I come across a very unique product. And I always like to share not only the application, but a full wear test because I want you to know before you invest your money in them, how long they last, how easy they are to remove. So I'm going to share all of that with you. And the product today is DOONAILS. If you've never heard of this brand, join the club. I hadn't heard of them either until one of you mentioned this brand to me on my Dashing Diva nail extensions video that I did several months back. You said, try DOONAILS, they're incredible. So it took me a while to finally place my order. I got 4 different designs and 3 of which are extra short length. And then I got one that's short length, but they have medium length and they have very different nail tips as well. They've got rounded, they have kind of the coffin style. So they've got lots of options, lots of colors, designs. But the thing that makes these the most unique to me is that they are supposed to be reusable if you use them with the stick-on tabs. If all of that sounds really interesting, fascinating to you, then hang around, hit that subscribe button. And now we're gonna go back to the application of these nails today, and then stick with me as we walk through the week and I'll let you know how these were and if they are something that I would recommend or not. Here are the 4 designs that I purchased. 3 of these are extra short length and I only purchased one that is considered short. These are a little bit longer, I can tell, so I'm gonna save these for another time. These are real thin French tip right there. I'm gonna save those. I was debating between these 2, but I think I'm gonna go with these kind of chrome pale pink ones. So let's open these up and see what's included. This is the design Jet Set extra short, and here's what we have inside. And it does say that it includes 30 nail strips. There's 24 here, and then it says there's a few extra inside. I'm hoping there's a couple of extra bigger. Oh yes, good. Because I was a little concerned that these thumbs might not be big enough for me. Okay, we have an instructional sheet right here, an orange stick and cuticle pusher. We've got 2 cleaning pads. Definitely need to use one of those. Here are the extra sizes, and it does look like there's a couple of extra big ones and then even some smaller pinky ones. And then most importantly, we have the sticky tabs. So I'm going to apply these with the tabs, not using glue, because with the tabs, they say you can reuse the nails. We'll check that out as well. All right, so we do have 30 tabs, and hopefully you can see. There we go. That's a little better view with the black background. So we have this clear protective sheet over them. We also have a tab, and you're going to see that these are quite a bit shorter than the nails look. So let's begin by prepping our nails, and we can give this time to dry while we read the instructions. I have already read them at least 3 times, but we'll reread them just to make sure. Okay, so here's the full instructional sheet. And what's interesting is they did not include an emery board. So I just grabbed one from a Dashing Diva kit that I already had. So we're going to push back our cuticles, file the tips. I purposely did not trim my nails today because I kind of want to see how much longer these nails are than my kind of slightly long nails. And then it does say to kind of roughen up the surface of the nail. I only like to do that very lightly. I don't want to damage the nails. And then we will proceed. So let's get to that point first. And then I'm just going to clean off the nails one more time. Okay, here we are. You can see I did rough up my nails just a little bit, and I've learned my nails carry quite a bit of moisture in them, so I do have to do that just a little bit, usually just to give these stickers and nails a fighting chance. Okay, I'm going to go through next and select my sizes of the adhesives and the nails, and then we'll proceed with the next step. So in order to know exactly which direction you're supposed to place them, they said that the tip of the nail is a little bit thicker and then the cuticle or the base part, and I can definitely feel that. On this design, you can see it's a little sheer. Also, there is just this tiny little mark of a tab, and they explained in the directions that when these are created, they are attached to a little tab and they break those off, but when you apply them, you will file the rest of that little tab down. So that's the other way you can tell this is the top of the nail. So, well, those look actually a little too big. So, ooh, that one looks like a perfect fit. Now, I have two very different pinky nails, I should say. And this one is definitely longer and thinner. And I actually did go ahead and trim my natural nail because with this nail on there, I mean, it comes like right to the end. So it's a good sign because it means these aren't going to be super long. But then for this pinky, I used one of the extras that was in the bag. And this actually fits a little better as far as size goes for this pinky. I don't know that you're going to be able to tell, but there is actually a size number at the top of each one of these tabs. So I'm going to go ahead and apply to my non-dominant hand, try and find the appropriate size, and then I will probably choose for the most part the same corresponding number for my right hand. So let's try this. So I'm going to go ahead and start backwards with the pinky, and there is a protective film. I'm going to go ahead and peel this off, but save it for later. Okay, I had my first casualty already. I thought I would be able to reposition the sticker, but you cannot. So it's a good thing because it means they're quite sticky, but I need to start over. So, okay, so we are lining up the inside rim there. There is, I think you can see, that was my mistake. We need to line up the inside part with the nail. All right, I'm going to go ahead and press this down firmly. And they said you can also use this to make sure you press it down. And I'm gonna go ahead and leave the tab on there because that gives me the number. I'm gonna leave it on there and that'll allow me to go back and press everything on one more time before I put the nails on. And I forgot to say that I was going to try and time this, but I think your first application is probably gonna take longer than the 7 minutes, but we'll see exactly how long it takes now that I've kind of figured out what I'm doing, I think. Okay, I'm seeing that this clear tag, it just wants to come off. So let's go ahead and take it off. And I'm gonna go ahead and apply these 3 nails before moving on to the next hand because I don't wanna mess anything up. So here we go. And it says to lay it into the cuticle, go from the back to the front. And I think that's the easiest way for sure to apply them. And then we're gonna press and hold. It doesn't say how long to press and hold, but I'm gonna give it a good 15 seconds or so. So again, I'm going from the cuticle and then laying it down and pressing. All right, we got 3 on. I'm gonna go ahead and do these 3 here now, and then we'll move forward to these 2. Okay, let's do the final 4 fingers. Now this is going to be interesting because I am noticing, do you see that glue tab is sticking out a little bit there? I actually think I'm going to try and trim that off because I don't want to have any stickiness underneath. It doesn't say to do this, but I'm just gonna think ahead and try myself to avoid an issue here. I'm gonna see what happens if I kind of roll that tip, the excess back. This could be a disaster, but hey, that's what we're here for, right? I'm here to make the mistakes for you. Instead of trying to trim this, I'm going to kind of roll it back and maybe give a little extra adhesiveness right there on the tip of the nail. We'll see. I was second guessing myself if this was the right way. It is, yay. Okay, I've put that clear film back over the top of those strips and those will go back in, but here's how we're looking so far. And now I'm just going to take my file. Once again, this was not included, so you probably have an emery board, but I'm just gonna file that little rough tip right there off. Here are the finished nails, and I think they look really beautiful. These are not what I would say are extra short. Most of you know I play the piano, so these are not piano nails for sure. I'm gonna be playing a little flat-fingered this week, but you know, I can make some sacrifices every now and then for the good of the people. But I do think they look really beautiful. They do feel nice and firm, and they don't feel like they're ready to pop off. So I'm gonna go film another video, and I will keep checking in throughout the week and share with you how these are holding up and if I have any of them pop off at all. But here's the finished look so far. They are beautiful. One additional thing that I forgot to mention, it doesn't say it in the instructions here, but it did say it online to not get your hands wet or use lotion or anything for at least 30 minutes. So I'm gonna give it a full hour. I like to just let that adhesive really have a good chance. So we're going to follow those instructions and we'll see how it goes. All right, it's time for a check-in on the nails. I'm happy to report 24 hours in and not a single pop off of the nails. If you watched my last video about the Dashing Diva nail extensions, you will know that by this time I had already replaced several. So as of now, I went to the gym yesterday, walked the dog this morning, I filmed a couple videos. I have really kind of put them through the test, you know, opening some packages, and it does take me a little while to get used to them, putting on jewelry, but so far they have really hung in there well. The one thing I noticed I did not do a good job of, and I don't know if you'll be able to tell on camera, but I got 2 air bubbles on both of my thumbs. So apparently I didn't lay it down and, you know, press it in evenly. So I'm keeping an eye on those, and I'm gonna give those a little bit of grace if they happen to pop off. But so far they've stayed on. I've showered, all of that, and everything has stayed in place, and I think they still look beautiful. I just got home from church, and if you saw my Stitch Fix try-on video, you will have seen this outfit. This is what I wore today. But most importantly, you're here to find out about the nails. So it's Sunday. Today is officially the 7th day I've had these nails on, and they are all on. However, I can tell they're weakening. So I think today is gonna be the day I remove them. I will walk you through that process. But overall, I have had, I think I practiced the piano 6 of the 7 days this week that I've had these on. I played the piano for church today, and they have hung in there. The length of these was actually doable, and I was able to kind of adjust how I did things. I was even able to put on this necklace successfully this morning. So the length on the extra short is about as long as I personally would prefer. I do have one set of those short lengths, so we'll see if I can handle those. But overall, they have hung in there. My thumbs that have the 2 big air bubbles, I think you can see it right there. I was concerned that these would come off. And it's funny because I feel like if I put enough pressure on them, you know, they might actually pop off. We'll see how easily they come off. But overall, I did not have to re-glue or re-adhere any of the nails this entire week. So, so far so good. Let's see if we can remove them and make them reusable. That is the final test of these nails. Okay, I'm gonna go change my clothes, get some lunch, and then I'll be back for the removal process. Time to remove these. The instructions say to take a bowl of warm water, add a couple of drops or so of hand soap. I'm going to use Dawn dish soap. And then they said a couple of drops of their remover oil. I did not purchase that myself, so I'm going to try some coconut oil. We're also going to add a little bit of the coconut oil to the cuticle of the nail first before we soak. After soaking, we will take the orange stick, peel it up, then we'll go back with some remover, remove any residual sticky stuff. And again, I'm just using fingernail polish remover. I did not purchase their remover product either. And then I've got cuticle oil and alcohol, rubbing alcohol to spritz on the nails because again, the hope is that we can recycle these nails. All right, let's get started and see how easy or hard they are to get off and if the nails are damaged underneath at all. It's only been about 2 minutes, but I am going to just lift a little bit of the edge of the nail and then finish soaking because I feel like this will help that solution get underneath the nail and loosen it up maybe a little quicker. It is already loosening up very nicely though. This is one of the nails that was very loose. I could probably pull that off, but I'm gonna wait. Really trying to make sure I don't damage my nails unnecessarily. And I think the towel over the hand just helps keep the water warm so that it's still warm for the second hand. All right, it's been about 5 minutes. So I'm going to take this orange stick, and again, this is what came with the nails. Let's see if we can take this off very gently. And it did. As I take them off, I'm going to separate the nails and then we will work on removing the leftover stick on the back of them, the stickiness, I should say, adhesive. Okay. Let's just see if adding a little drop of oil will help. Just push the rest of that nail off. And yes, you can see, I mean, there was still quite a lot of adhesive. I mean, it was still pretty well stuck on. This is one that I could tell was ready to come off today. But it's still around the tip and the end of the nail, the edge of the nail. It's still very well adhered. Here's what my nails look like. Right now there's a little bit of extra adhesive, which actually, look at that, that's pretty well just ready to peel right off. The coconut oil is definitely helping with that removal. Let's see, we have some here. And that feels pretty clean. I'm gonna just rinse the hand off. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and do the right hand and then I will show you how we're supposed to be able to get this sticky stuff off of the nail. That'll be the next project. All right, so I am happy to report that second set came off even easier because I lifted the edge of it before I did the soaking, and again, they're both hands. The nails actually are longer than they were when I put them on, and I do not see any significant damage. Of course, there's probably a little layer of some of the nail that probably comes off, but I can't detect anything noticeable. So now let's take off. Let's see if we can get this adhesive off of the nail. So all you're supposed to have to do is take the orange wood stick, whoops, and toss the nail. The orange wood stick, and roll the adhesive off, and it is supposed to be able to come off cleanly. And if you had done glue, you would just have to throw the nails away. So this is just if you have used the adhesive tabs that come with the nails and you want to take it off. Okay, now you can probably see, hopefully, there is a chip out of this nail, which is unfortunate because it's one of my thumbnails. And those are, I don't know if I could trim that off. We could see. Okay, we have successfully removed all of the glue from the nails. I'm happy to report we only have one casualty, so tossing that one. But the final step before we can put these back in the package is they say to put a little bit of rubbing alcohol on them. So I'm just, oops, my spray is a little too forceful. So just spray them down, and then they said, of course, let them dry completely before putting them back in the package. And then here's the look of my nails, and they recommend using a little cuticle oil. I've had this for so long. I am so bad about using these, but this is one that smells absolutely amazing. So I'm just gonna rub in a little bit of this on my nails. And now let me wrap up this video with my final thoughts. All right, let's just wrap up this video right where I'm sitting at my dining room table, and let me give you my final thoughts. So first of all, as far as how my nails look after a week of having them on and then removing them, I think they look amazing. In fact, I wouldn't even know that I had fake nails on all week, so no damage. But I do feel like this is a solution if you are trying to grow out your nails or you have thin nails. I think that these are an option to help you kind of grow healthier nails underneath. And I do feel like I might have gotten maybe one more day of wear before I would have had at least one, maybe two pop off. But as far as the wear goes, I feel like these were fantastic. The removal, I will say, it took me probably about a half an hour to just remove all that glue from the back of the nails. And personally, because I don't wear nails like this very often, I don't think it's really worth it for me to do that in the future. However, if you're somebody who routinely wears nails, I think it's great that you can reuse the same nails multiple times. You will need to eventually go on and purchase, you can buy the nail strips, the tacky adhesive strips, you can buy those separately. So if you're planning to wear these more than a couple times, like this is what's left in my little packet. So you can purchase extra adhesive tabs when you buy the nails or in the future. And I would recommend doing that. Or if you're a glue person, definitely, I think these would work well with glue. Just know that you can't reuse the nails after using glue. But overall, I think these get a 2 thumbs up from me. The application was surprisingly easy and almost foolproof. I have not done press-on nails since Lee press-on nails came out and I was like in elementary school. So I feel like if I were to do the application process again, it would get faster. They say you can apply these in 7 minutes. And I think if you got the process down to a T, you could probably do that. I was a little concerned because some of the adhesive, didn't line up exactly with the nail, but even a few little bits that I peeled off around the edge as I was wearing the nails, it didn't affect the wear of the nails overall. So I think this is a fantastic product. I think they have beautiful designs, it's quality, and they were very comfortable to wear. They stayed on my nails. Like I said, I had a whole week of practicing piano. I was not going hardcore. I was pulling back and going slower practice this week, but I was able to practice. I worked out. I went to the pool I was in the pool for maybe an hour or so. I cleaned my house. I did all of that with these nails on, no gloves, and they stayed on just fine. So if you are interested in checking out these nails, I will leave a link to their website in the description box down below. I will also list the design that I wore through the week and then the other designs that I showed you at the beginning. But I am excited for the next time that I want to wear nails because I feel like these are a wonderful option. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy videos like this, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye.